Mishnah says we're on 18a. Is that correct?
Yeah.
18a.
A3.
So we're starting from a Mishnah. Rabbi Lazar Omer, Vlad Shlamim LaYikrav Shlamim. We mentioned this yesterday because yesterday we learned the Mishnah that said that the offspring of Kachim is offered as a Shlamim. And we said for all generations. We asked, why do you have to say for all generations? He said the offspring, and in its offspring, why do you say Adailam? He said, we're coming to argue with Rabbi Elazar that says that no, that it's not brought. That's why we had to emphasize that it is brought. Okay, so here's the opinion of Rabbi Elazar. It says that the offspring of a Shlamim is not brought for a Shlamim. We have to see why. Because the fact is, the mother was the sacrifice, and it has its child. So why not? We'll see. The Chacham say no, you do bring it. Okay, so we have the machlokes. We know the Chacham's opinion. That was yesterday's Mishnah. Amar Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon says, "Leinechleku al blad shlamim v'al blad Temurah." There is no machlokes regarding the offspring of the shlamim, or the offspring of the Temurah of the shlamim, right? The grandchild, either of the shlamim itself, the peace offering, or the exchange for the peace offering. Shalayakrev, that you don't bring it. Alman nechleku. So what is the argument? Al avlad. Good morning, Jeff. What is the argument? It's regarding the offspring. We're on 18 A3, right? So they're arguing in the Mishnah. They're arguing over just the offspring itself as a prod. Rabbi Lazar Amalei Yaakov. The Rabbi Lazar says that you don't bring the offspring as a shlamim, which we'll have to see why. But Chacham Yaakov and the Chacham say you do bring it. I just want to point out that when Reb Shimon started this, he says that they don't argue about this, that you don't bring it. That's a very vague statement, because they don't argue about this, that you don't bring it, and everyone agrees that you do bring it, or they don't argue about this, that you do bring it, and everyone agrees that you don't bring it. The Gemara is going to discuss what that means. They don't argue. Okay. Heyed Rabbi Yeshua Rav Papayas. You probably have a note over here. Oh, nice. Rav Papayas. Rav Papayas is listed as one of the sages of what is referred to as Kerem B'Yavne. Another name for the well-known Academy of Yavne. He lived during the generation of destruction of the temple. Apparently, Rav Papayas was a younger contemporary of Rabbi Yeshua. Although several of his testimonies are halachic, and I got extended on the Mishnah, nothing is known about his life. Papayas in Greek means a janitor, a keeper of the palace. Similar to the Hebrew name Sharia, which appears in 1 Chronicles. Maybe it's Rav Papas. It's an alternative to Rav Papas, okay. So Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Papayas, they testify al Vlad Shlamim Shiakov Shlamim, on the offspring of a Shlamim that it is brought, not like Rabbi Elazar. Maybe Rabbi Elazar.
That's a quick point. Yeah. If the Vlad, according to, let's say, Rabbi Elazar says Loikar Shlamim,
right?
So that means it's Chulin?
According to Rabbi Elazar, you have to bring it into a pan. You feed it. You feed it till it dies. Right? I think you let it die.
You put it in a room.
Similar to the Chatay Sameses, that they just let them die.
Okay.
So you don't sell it if it has a mum?
No.
That's
what it seems like. You don't feed it.
Locked up in the store without food until it starves.
Nice. That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Man.
So what?
Better not get a hold of this guy.
You better not give him people.
So what's the testimony here? They testified about the Vlad of a Shlamim that is brought as a Shlamim. Amar of Papayas. Ani meyed shais lanu parashal zivche Shlamim. Papayas testifies. We had a cow that was a Shlamim. V'chalnu b'Pesach. We ate it on Pesach. Not as a Korban Pesach. Because the Korban Pesach is a Zachar. They ate it as a shlamim on Pesach. And v'achal nevlad shlam b'chag. And we ate its offspring on Sukkot Chag. Let's assume it means Sukkot. It doesn't have to be, but let's say they ate it Sukkot. So that means that the offspring of a shlamim is offered as a shlamim 6 months later. But, so you can do that.
What does that mean?
We have a machlekes between Rabbi and Chachamim if the offspring of a shlamim is considered a shlamim, or if we give it a status of no, this offering can't be brought, similar to chatois, ameses, and all of that.
Just because they served up the shlamim 6 months later, it doesn't necessarily mean. It could just mean that they rededicated it the next month.
No, they said that they ate the mother,
Right.
and
They
then the
already
offspring.
identified it that
Right.
it was.
So they
Right.
identified the mother. The child is not. The vlad is not a carbon automatically. It's not hefesh automatically. But they happen to redesignate the
No,
child.
that would have been if the offspring was before it was consecrated. But here, he's saying that it was born after it was consecrated. You're right,
Okay.
though. That would have been we don't look in family trees,
Right, exactly.
Right, I hear you. Okay, Amar Ravami, Amar Rabbi Yechanan. Ravami says in the name of Rabbi Yechanan. Ravami, a student of Rabbi Yechanan. He says, my time with Rabbi Lazar, very important. What is the reason of Rabbi Lazar? Very soon we're going to have to differentiate between Rabbi Lazar and Rabbi Lazar, but meanwhile it's all in Rosh Tevis, so if he's arguing with Rabbi Yeshua, I assume it's Rabbi Eliezer. Okay. My time with Rabbi Eliezer, Amakra v'im zevach shlam karbani. It says, and if a peace offering is his sacrifice, listen to this. Skip the word Hashem. The aim, you read it instead of ve'im, you read it ve'aim v'lei vlad. If the mother, it's only the mother, not ve'im, it's read as the mother. Ve'aim v'lei vlad. Amalei Reb Chia bar Abba l'Rabami. Reb Chia bar Abba says to Rabami, this is another student of Rabbi Yechanan. He says to his friend Rabami, who's also a contemporary, Elameata, according to this, Imal Taidiak Rivenu, if he brings a carbon taida, Achinami the aim v'lei vlad, you're going to say that every time it says aim, every time it says im, you're going to read it as aim, you're going to darshan it as aim, which means only the mother, not the offspring. If you're going to say yeah, that's what we're going to do. But it was taught in the Bais of blood. How do you know that you bring the offspring of a taida? How do you know that you bring the exchange of a taida? What is a chilufah? Chilufah is if it got lost, and I had to dedicate another one, and then I found the first one. So chilufah, the halachically acceptable exchange, because it got lost, not a temurah. So there's several types of it. How do you know that you bring that as well? Talmud Laimar imal taida mikol makim. And it doesn't say aim.
So on the contrary,
On the contrary,
from the word
aim that you do bring it. Alam Rab Chia bar Abba, Rabbi Yechanan. Rab Chia bar Abba says different than Rabami. He says, "In the time of the Rabbi Lazar, Gzeirushem Yigadol Ben Madarim. We have a problem. If someone can have any benefit from this animal by having the offspring, by having the mother give birth to offspring, and then getting some usage out of it, he may delay bringing the sacrifice because it's going to have an offspring, and then he'll be able to use the offspring. So we say you cannot use the offspring. Therefore, there's no benefit for him from delaying bringing the mother. You should bring the mother right away, and that's why.
How long do you have to bring a korban?
So,
If let's say Taka, there was a vlad, and the vlad should be brought.
yeah. So you really only have your bal ta'acher. There's either you violate it on the first holiday, or on the third holiday from the. There's different opinions.
And how long does it take an animal to get pregnant and give birth, like a cow?
How old does it have to be?
A cow can start reproducing after a year.
Uh-huh.
And the sheep 9 months, right?
I don't know. I can look it up.
That's what you taught us last time.
So this guy,
No, that was just.
so this guy
That's the
for
same
sure
You know how old.
is not a. I mean,
He's trying
For
to
it-
gain something.
no, for it to have a vlada,
Oh.
if for sure he had
He
to
would have
pass
to be
the
holding
loisa
on, yeah.
acher. This guy is
Right.
already a shady character.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
shitty character, Askina.
Now, it could be that it's a smaller animal that give birth quicker, right?
That would have been a good.
The sheep and the goats give birth quicker, right?
How much quicker?
Yeah, I think they were 5 months. Well,
That
what age?
means-
Was it a second?
How old do they have to be?
How old they have
I
to
have
be,
no
and
idea.
how long does it take to give birth?
Well, The
The
gestation
Kohen
period
needs to know his
is short,
business, you
is
know what I'm
shorter
saying?
for the goats. That's like 5 months. For a
But
cow,
how
the
old?
gestation period
But
is
how
a year.
old could they be?
I'll look it up.
Doctor, YouTube.
He's looking at
When
Do you understand it? Do you understand it?
yes,
for
maybe.
This guy is a
when you
he had a baby from a shlami. He waited to bring the shlami until he gave another bird. This guy's a little shady.
They kill it in the same way as when they're sacrificing, not killing an animal for kosher.
He was on the
Same way.
So it doesn't feel pain.
Right.
It's a good limit school. You're right.
Seems like
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't want it to be eaten. They didn't want anyone to have
Yeah,
any
from
benefit
Douglas
from it.
Road.
is killed as non-sacrifice.
Could be because then people may end up eating it. They say, well, it's kosher. I saw it.
It just seems like a contradiction to me. Like we're so careful about not the animal not having
No
pain.
way.
Right,
It's a punch.
right,
Black, no sugar.
right.
Bitter.
I don't know the reason.
No.
Ibaylahu.
Okay. But,
I'm sorry. Amar Reb Shimon Leinechlik. Reb Shimon says that they don't argue regarding the Vlad. They only argue about the Vlad. Shablaz and the Chachamim. The Vlad means the offspring. Vlad is the offspring's offspring. Grand offspring. Ibaylu. They asked the question in the yeshiva. Heichik tani leinechliku shalei yakrivu, ela yikrivu. Idom leinechliku sheyikrivu ela le yakrivu. Rabbi Shimon says they don't argue that you don't bring it. What does that mean? That they both agree that you don't bring it, or that they don't argue that you don't bring it and they both agree that you do bring it?
We want
Now let's just clarify. There is a machlekes regarding the offspring. So let's go like this. Can I use your cup because it matches better? Okay, here's the mother animal. The mother animal is a shlamim. There's no problem. Here's the offspring of the shlamim. This is clearly a machlekes. Rabbi Lezer says don't bring it, and the Chum say you can bring it. Regarding the, I don't have a little smaller cup. Regarding the offspring's offspring, they don't argue about it. Now, what's? They both agree. What do they both agree? They both agree that you bring it, or they both agree that you don't bring it. Now, according to the Chachamim, that you, excellent, excellent. According to the Chachamim, this one was brought. If we say that you bring it, so then okay, you bring it. You bring it. According to Rabbi Lezer, that says this one was not brought, then all of a sudden you do bring it. That would be a little strange. But let's see. Okay. So, Amar Rabba. Rabba comes in to explain. It makes sense that you don't argue shla yikrivu, that you don't bring it. Ela yikrivu, rather, that you do bring it. Everyone holds that you do bring the offspring's offspring, which is a little odd because Rabbi Lezer held that you didn't bring the offspring. The offspring all of a sudden becomes kosher. So, my time, what's the reason? Ad kan lepalag Rabbi Lezer the Rabbanan. Until now, Rabbi Lezer only argued with the Rabbanan. Why? Yela bevlad, only with the offspring. Aval vlad. But if it has an offspring, akrei ba'almahu, that's too odd. That's an anomaly. We don't have to be concerned about that. We don't have to make takanas. And for that, we're not going to say that you don't bring it. What's our real concern is the offspring. Offspring's offspring. That doesn't go under our radar that we should forbid bringing that. Okay. Rabbi Shua ben Levi are malei nechleku sheyikrivu ela lo yikrivu. They don't argue that you bring it. They argue they all agree that you don't bring it. The Vlad, this little guy. My time. What's the reason for that? Now the Rabbanan.
Wasn't the initial Vlad a fetus at the time of the? So it's a totally different story. The Vlad. Right. Because the initial one got its kedusha because it was like a kosheni kind of within.
Right.
Because this is now a separate Indian. Later on, it goes and gets pregnant.
Actually, I think what we're dealing with here is that he consecrated the mother. You didn't bring it yet. the mother gets conceives, and
Oh, so it wasn't
so it wasn't
in
there at the time.
Oh,
There at the time, that would be being makdish and uber. That's a machlekes Rabbi Yochanan, and
We
I
had
remember we had that
before.
before
Yeah.
in Pedas. Remember that? Okay. So Shua ben Levi says that they all hold that you don't bring it. So what's the reason why the rabbis should all of a sudden make this forbidden? Ad kan le'palag the Rabbi Lazar, the Rabbanan argued on Rabbi Lazar why in the middle case in the Vlad they said that you're allowed to bring it. Ela bevlad, aber Vlad mitech maseni kers machshavtei. But now that there's Vlad, this guy's really after making, opportunist. He's trying to get see how much money he can make off the sacrifice, and the legadol kabbalah that he's trying to grow a herd out of this. So that's why the Chachamim would forbid that. Okay. Tani Reb Chia l'Siyuler Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Reb Chia teaches a brisa to support Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Should be same generation. Rabbi Shua ben Levi and Reb Chia. And Reb Chia was the one that edited the brises. We learned in the Rambam yesterday. Reb Chia did the Tosefta, the Rambam writes. Im kesev hu makriv, if he brings a sheep. Vlad Rishon Karev, Vlad Sheni and Karev. The first offspring is brought. This is talking about a shlamim. However, the second one is not brought. Hu Karev ve'in Vlad kol hakotshim Karev. Now it finishes off here with a statement that we don't understand, but we have the proof. But then he goes on and he says, only in this case would we say that the Vlad is brought, but in other cases we won't say that by the shlamim. By the shlamim we do say it, by other cases we don't. Vlad demai. When you just excluded other things, that you're allowing the first Vlad to be brought, but not the Vlad. What are you excluding? What case are you negating? Are you trying to tell me that the Vlad of an Eily or the Vlad of a Shlamim is not brought? Zecharmheim. An Eily and an Asham, Eily or Asham, they're males. Vladheim, they can't have offspring. You're trying to tell me that you don't offer the Vlad of a Chatas. So Hilchasa Gemirila, that we know from Malach L'Meshim Sinai, the Lemisasla, that it's put to death. So what are we coming to exclude? So Maravina Lasuye Vlad Hamuseres. Coming to exclude the Vlad of Meiser, because when it comes to Meiser, you can't choose what animal is going to come out the 10th. Like Le'yivakar bin Teiflerai, you can't choose which one it is. Could be it's going to be a female, right? If it's going to be a female, then it could have an offspring. It has an offspring. We're learning over here that only the Vlad of a Shlamim is brought, not the Vlad of a Meiser.
The problem with that story is that at least in Meiser, you only count the sheep, the cows that were born that year. Right? And most animals are not able to get pregnant within the first year.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, we already looked it up. Cows and goats are 1 year.
What about sheep?
Check it out. I'm sure it's the same thing.
So go to 18. Okay, let's go back another one. One more. Here's where we're holding. Vladimir says, Amaravina. So, Vladimir, the Gemara now asks, Vladimir says, Lamalikra. Why do you have to tell me?
Sheep can produce at 9 months.
And how long is the gestation?
I don't know, but goats and cows are longer.
Uh-huh.
Goats and cows are older, I'm sorry. Whatever.
In the school, they have that little petting zoo. They have that farm. So the guy that takes care of it tells me that there's a lot of teen pregnancies amongst the goats. He says there's like 3rd, 4th generations there just in that little thing, and it's like really quick. And at a certain point you can't tell like the difference because they're almost all the same size. Okay, so it says Vladimir Saras Lamalikro. Why do you need a pasuk to tell me that the offspring of a tithed animal that you don't bring it?
Goats and sheep are 5 months.
If they're 5 months of gestation, so it's not going to work. You have a good question.
No,
So
it
9 months and then 5 months.
Be pregnant. It could be pregnant. A sheep
Right.
could be pregnant. A goat and a cow probably cannot be pregnant.
So why do we need a pasuk? Ubra or Avra, what is it? Evra mi Bechar kagamala. We learned from Bechar. Now this is an interesting limud because it says Kol Asher Tavar and Bechar. It says it also has the word Evra. So what we learned from Bechar is that Bechar is only a firstborn animal, and so since by a Bechar I can't have an offspring. So by Meiser, I also don't offer the offspring, because by Bechar it's impossible. So why do I need a special pasuk? That it says, who, kesef, who makriv, that you bring it, but not by another, you don't bring it by other animals. What's the other animal that you don't bring it? What other carbon? It's Meiser. I don't need all of this. I learned from Bechar that you don't offer the offspring, I also don't offer the offspring for Meiser. Gemara says, Yitzchak, you still need the pasuk. I could have thought, why by Bechar don't you bring it? Because it's a male. So I learn everything that would have been possible to a Bechar to Meiser. But that doesn't mean that an offspring of Meiser I'm not going to bring. Because by a Bechar it's male. It doesn't have that possibility that I should negate it. Over here by the Meiser, it could be a female. So I need the pasuk to tell me that I don't bring the offspring of Meiser as Meiser, as a sacrifice. Okay, hey, Reb Shimon and Reb Papayas testified that you do bring the offering of the offspring of a shlamim as a carbon.
What's the proof from that witnessing? Did the kohen check? Somebody brings an animal, says, I'm going to do shlamim.
Right.
Does the kohen check and say, halachically, the shlamim has to be like this or like that?
Right. He must be saying...
Maybe they held like Reb Lezer or whatever, what's the proof from that? Like, why would the Mishnah even repeat it? What's the value in this witnessing?
He's saying clearly that they didn't hold like Rabbi Lezer. He's testifying that I know that they didn't go like Rabbi Lezer.
But maybe it was a guy, Das Yachid, he decided. I mean, who checked the... I'm asking, did they check... Somebody brings an animal, did they say, is this a Vlad, or start checking if... was this worship for this, or... I don't know, what did they do?
Or a person could be, he's wants to be open and honest, and he's saying what it is.
Right, but
it could be
if
his
you
family.
didn't say, then what's the proof of
Could
it?
be
Why
his
does the
family.
Mishnah even have to repeat it? What's the value of witnessing that he brought this animal's a shlamim? That was a das yachid.
It could be that the machlekes is, what is the practice? What is the minhag? And he's saying, look, this is the way we did it. This is the
But
minhag.
that could be his minhag.
Yeah, so Torah, he was only one Eretz Yisrael in those days. So
Okay, I don't want to get carried away.
Yeah, the Gemara could come in and say, yeah, they did it this way, they did it that way. The Gemara could come in and say that. He's trying to prove that, look, they definitely did it this way. Okay. Hey, Reb Shimon Papayas. The Gemara says, "Rava damar kachim kivin shavalei a regel echad kol yom v'yom moivra alayim v'val ta'acher." This is supposed to be Rava. It's supposed to be. What do you have? Anyone have a different name?
Rava with an aleph.
Just
The hey?
Oh, okay. There's a mistake before, and it said Hayed Reb Yeshua. Here it says Hayed Reb Shimon. Okay, that's a mistake. So Rava that says that kachim. Once a holiday passes, every single day that you delay giving the offering, you're even Bal Ta'acher. Me'atzeres by Michle. Should have brought on Shavuos. Because what happened there? He brought the mother on Pesach. He didn't bring they waited with the offspring to bring it until Sukkot, because it says they brought it on Chag. Chag is Sukkot. So Gemara says, should have brought it on Shavuos. According to Rabbi, you only have one holiday to delay bringing your gift. Sometimes someone gets an aliyah and they make a pledge. So officially you're supposed to pay up the pledge right away. So I knew there was like a Rav that would run Mitzvah Shabbos to the Gabbai to pay him right after Shabbos. That's the first time. But, it's Bal Ta'acher, you don't want to delay the pledge.
Wow.
I think for us Monday morning it's okay.
Which Monday morning?
So you're saying like
Mañana.
tax season,
I
right?
didn't say which year.
Right, which Monday?
Amar Rav Zvid Mishra. So we have a question here. How could he wait until Sukkot? Should have after Shavuos. He's violating every single day by delaying. Amar Rav Zvid Mishmei de Rava. Rav Zvid says in the name of Rava. When I read this, I wasn't sure he was a chayla or the animal was a chayla. Maybe you don't bring the animal. It sounds like he was a chayla, no? He was a chayla, wasn't able to. So he has an exemption, a doctor's note.
It says here that the majority of early commentaries explain that the offspring was ill.
Oh.
Was a chayla.
Okay,
Later commentaries add that even an animal with a temporary illness is not sacrificed. By contrast, Rabbi Menachem explains that the owner of the offering became ill.
Okay, good. In general, when you learn a Gemara and you're not sure what the pshat is, there's probably a machlekes. That's so very good. Yeshikach. Thank you.
Not me, it's Rabbi Steinsaltz.
Rav Ashi Amar. Rav Ashi has another answer. My chag, nami diktani chag Shavuos. It's the holiday of Shavuos. The idach, the other one says, Rav Zvid says, 1 second. Kol heche diktani Pesach. Why doesn't he say Shavuos? So he says like this. If it says the word Pesach, then Tani Atzeret. For Shavuos it calls it Atzeret, so it doesn't call it Chag. Ihachi, if that's the case, Maya Saduse, what is the testimony here? If you say that he brought it on Sukkot, and he didn't bring it on Shavuos, so he's coming to tell us that you don't have to bring the holiday, you don't have to bring it on the first holiday against Rava, you can bring it at a later holiday. You can't bring it past the year, past the third holiday, but he's coming to testify. So the Gemara answers, Lafuke mit Rabbi Lazar, Avad Shlam leYikr Shlam Kamaser the Karev. That sort of like got distracted here. The original testimony we knew. He was testifying that you bring the Vlad Shlamim, but the Gemara was saying, oh, there's a sheet of Rava that says you have to bring it right away. Maybe the point of this testimony is to tell us that you don't have to bring it right away, you can bring it until Sukkot. Until Sukkot, if you're going to tell me that you have to bring it on Shavuos, so what's the point of the testimony? The point of the testimony, the Gemara says, was the original point, was that you bring the offspring of a Shlamim, as a Shlamim. Okay, we're going to have a few Mishnayos discussing different sacrifices, what happens with the Vlad and the Temurah, because we saw that it wasn't so clear. But the Chatas is the extreme one, that everything is put to death, besides for the original Chatas. Everything else is just about everything else. There's 5 that are put to death. By the Shlamim, we had a machlekes. Let's see what's Vlad Taida. The offspring of a Taida, Temurah, it's a new Mishnah, and it's exchanged. Vladan, Vladan. Ad Seif Kol Adairas, Harei Elokatayda. They're all a Taida. So you offer them all. Interesting.
Whether it was that they became right after or while it was.
I think we're talking about that it became pregnant afterwards, because otherwise you have that machlekes of being Matzah Shenuba and all of that.
Keep it going.
The gift that keeps on giving.
That's
Fruit of the
And
month
we mentioned this before because we said aim, im al taida. We said you can't learn im. We had the drush already. Minani mili. Where do we know this from? What are these words? The Tanur Rabbana was taught in a brisa. Mahu aimer. Funny way to start. What's the aleph here? What's the aleph? Mahu aimer taida. Yakriv. Mahu aimer taida yakriv. Minayin lemafresh taida va'avda v'hifresh acheres tachteh. How do you know that if someone consecrates a taida and then it gets lost? Taida is an animal similar to a shlamim, and then it gets lost. V'nimtza surishayna, and then you find the first one because you designated the second one. And they're both standing there. How do you know yakriv? That you can bring either one, your first one or your second one, because you lost one and you had to designate another one. So how do you know that you can bring either one? This could be at a fabring and someone makes a plate of food. They put it down and then they come back, it's not there, so they make another plate, they come back and then both plates are there. How do you know that you can eat either one? So yeah, you bring a carbon now. So our food is like a carbon, right?
You take the guy who took the plates and bring him a korban.
So Talmud Leimar Yakriveno. You could bring. I'm sorry. The first one is Toida. Toida Yakriv. Yochel Shtei Tun Lechem. Maybe the second one that you're going to bring also requires bread. Talmud Leimar Yakriveno Achas Fleishtayim. No. The first one that you offer, which you have a choice which one to offer, that comes along with the 40 loaves of bread that a Toida's brought. The second one that you offer, which is just an animal that because you lost it, you have to replace it. So that is brought, but you don't bring another 40 loaves of bread. How do you know that you bring the offspring, the exchange, and also the other type of exchange because of the loss, that it's actually brought? That's like the pasuk we said before, that you do bring it. Maybe those require bread. Okay. Only the bread is only brought once, but all the other exchanges are brought. Next Mishnah.
The bread is what given to Kohen then, too?
The bread, I think one type of each is given to the Kohen, but I think the rest of them are eaten by the owners. That's why he only has a short amount of time. He has to invite all his friends.
A lot of bread,
Yeah. It's a sack of Zach's bread.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Forget about the diet.
Wow.
Eat the bread.
Eat the bread.
That's right.
And if they're on the bread, let me cake.
Unless it was organic bread.
Well, it's safe to assume that the grain wasn't